Hey guys, it's Victoria, and today I'd like to talk more about activism. It's piggybacking on another video I made. I think it warrants a little bit more depth than what I talked about in the last video. If somebody's going to be an activist, they have to be prepared to invite other activists into their lives. Like, in other words, if you're going to be a vegan and picket signs and go into somebody's establishment and start, rattling off what your activism is all about, then you have to be prepared to have someone do that to you about something that you don't even find, you either find offensive or you don't even find interesting at all. Like, for instance, if you're vegan and you are protesting, people eating animals in an establishment that has animals, serves animals as meals, you should be prepared for them to come down to your establishment and picket signs not to have an abortion and have grotesque pictures of, feces and fetuses. I meant to say fetuses, but also anything that they want to put on these signs. They're out there and they could be offensive to you, and you have to be prepared. Will you be able to stand up to them, or would you be able to take it, or do you want to take it, or whatever it is? You have to realize that there are so many causes out there. There's so many reasons to be an activist, and it's not just one is better than another. There is no such thing as one is better than another. There could be more of an extreme. There could be, there's a continuum. There's really, really neon signs. I'm doing this, gay rights, whatever, women's rights, anything that they are activist in. But what about those people that just are on the sidelines and they're just telling their circle of friends and their family, and they're okay with that? They don't want to get out there. They don't want to do anything crazy. They don't want to risk their their family life or whatever it is. They just don't. It doesn't make them bad people. It doesn't make them worse off because they don't do things that are, out there. Some people are shy. Some people just don't want to get involved like that. They don't want to rattle their cage. And that's okay. They're doing their part. Everybody's doing their part in whatever they believe. Because they're either spending their dollar on something or they're not. There's shock value. Instead of shocking people all the time, why not be active in actually doing something? Like, really, not just making a video about it, like literally just going to hospitals to go visit the sick, or going to animal sanctuaries and really pouring all your money into it, and really like sharing every video out there that's really into the same cause that you're in, instead of hogging it all for yourself and getting all the attention on you and all your feelings and all that stuff. Like, share everything. And that's being active. That's proactive. In my opinion, that's what works. That's what really is time well spent. To me, I think it's time well spent to keep either talking about it and doing things. Pour your money into it. Don't just take money and just, that you make in the cause and just use it for yourself. I don't think that's very good karma, and I don't think that's exactly, I don't think you're doing the cause, for a greater purpose if you're not going to share whatever you make from it, or if you're not going to share it in a way where you feel like people are really going to get benefits from it. And now, how are you going to get the benefits from something that somebody else does? Well, like I said, if I visit the sick in the hospital, I know that they're not going to ever visit me when I'm sick. And I'm not doing it to get paid back. I'm doing it because I know it will help at one point. Because if you believe in something, you really have to go full force in a way where you're really going to take it to another level. And that doesn't mean, shocking people or, picketing signs in their faces and stuff like that. That doesn't mean that. It means really following through, really living by example. And then spending your money wisely on the choices that you believe. Now, we're all gonna do things that we don't want to do indirectly. We're gonna spend money on things that we don't want to spend money on, because we're essentially, money goes around in a whirlpool, and you're giving it to somebody that's going to spend it on something that you don't believe in. That's just the way life is. It's just, you can't avoid that no matter how much you try. Do the best you can, but you can't avoid it. So, is anybody better than anybody else? Is any activist better than another activist? No. No. There's always going to be an activist somewhere. There's always going to be something that somebody believes in, and you may not believe in it. And that's okay. It's okay. Everybody has a cause. Everybody has something that they believe in. Somebody can come up to somebody that has a kid and says, you know, your choices, let me just back that up. People say your choices that you make for yourself are going to cause a ripple effect for everybody else. Okay, so that means that anybody who gets pregnant, you can actually come over to them and say things like, you know what, why are you having that baby? That baby could be a destructive terrorist later on and really cause, you know, havoc in the world. And or somebody come up to that woman and say, why, oh, it's so nice that you're having a baby. That baby could do wonderful things in this world. Wow. You know, and people talk about, oh, you should adopt versus have your own baby. Well, not everybody wants to do that. And you know what? Let me tell you something. I've spoken to people that are adopted, and they actually did not have such a bad time being in foster homes. Believe it or not, I know that sounds crazy, but I've actually spoken to people, and they say, like, we had a really good childhood. Like a really good childhood. So they didn't need to have like the standard parents that people think that they need. They actually had each other in the orphanages, and they really did feel that they were bonded and they had a family life, and that was what they knew. Who's to say conventional families are better? Why are they better? You hear about so many families that are broken and so many families that are dysfunctional. So why is it that you need to think that you have a better chance of keeping somebody normal or happy because you're adopting them? Well, who are you to adopt somebody? Who thinks that you're the best parent that you can be? How could you be the best parent? You know, that's really what you want to ask yourself. So, I don't know. Be an activist, that's fine. But just be accepting of other activists. If you're a vegan and you want to be an activist, then just know that there is a chance that it could backfire the way you're doing it. Okay? If you're going into an establishment that serves, you know, animals, and you are going to go in with your picket signs, you're going to have a slight chance of people thinking you're an alien and don't want anything to do with your cause, which is what I have thought for a really long time. The only reason why I became vegan was because my husband wanted me to, and then I just had to really delve into it. And it took me years. It took me 10 years. So what does that mean? Does that mean that everybody who looks at a video and, you know, gets enlightened for a week, they're going to be enlightened forever? No, it doesn't mean that. Give them a chance. Open your arms to them. Open your minds to them. Have patience for people. Not everybody's as enlightened as you are at the same time. I've said this in other videos, and I really mean it. People are really not enlightened, and that's okay. Look, Meatless Monday. Hey, that's better than not having a Meatless Monday. So take what you can get, and stop making people try to be perfect, and stop trying to get people to listen to you. No, you want people to hear you? There are ways to do it. And you know what? Sometimes manipulation, like getting into under their skin and stuff like that, and, you know, sending like little messages here and there, are more effective than the big screaming, ranting, raving thing, you know? Really, in my opinion, I just steer clear of that and want to have nothing to do with their cause. I look at them like they're aliens, seriously. And I am sure a lot of other people do too. Maybe read a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. That might help. You know, there are ways to get what you want. And I think it's more effective. It doesn't backfire as much as somebody yelling and screaming. It's been proven over and over again. Even when the parent yells and screams, the kid doesn't necessarily change. Alright, so those are my little, I don't know, what do you want to call them? It's what I'm saying. It's what I'm saying. It's what I'm thinking. It's coming out right now on video. Alright. What do you have to say? Do you have any thoughts on this? If so, I'd like to hear them. Write them down below. Don't get crazy. Just write them down below. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss it. All right? Discussions. Way better than anger and yelling and putting someone down. What does it get you in the end? All right. Scott Long. Talk to you soon. Bye.